Stand by for ludicrous speed.
Okay, my big Rich Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great. Your go. Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders.
Wow. Hey, great.
Good. Look at it.
We interrupt this sound file to bring you a terrifying announcement.
Are you aware that you're leaking coolant at an alarming rate?
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Well, I'm glad we got all that out in the open.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Saturday morning Stateline show.
Rick rolling. You remember Rick rolling? It totally taught a lot of people about the internet safety and not clicking on random links. Thank you, Rick rolling.
I tried that the other day. One of our songs in the music round was a Rick Astley song, Never Gonna Give You Up.
That's Rick rolling.
So I played it. And then when it came to playing it back and saying, okay, song number 4, that was Christopher Cross. And I had a few people looking at me like, what? No. I said, I crisscrossed you guys. Anyway, nobody was fooled. Did
anyone guess that the title of the song, though, was Rick rolling?
No.
That would have been that. I could see that happening. That would be funny.
Yeah, that would have been. But it was obviously Never Going to Give You Up. But yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
Rick, what was his last name?
Rick Astley.
Astley, yes. Okay, Rick Astley. Good deal.
Yeah, Rick rolling. It's so funny. I mean, you talk about a niche, and I don't think he came up with it. I think somebody else came up with it.
Yes.
And what I was going to do is I was going to start playing just nothing but Rick Astley songs for the next round. And say, that was Boston, More Than a Feeling.
It is the 26th day of February, the year 2022, the latest it has ever been
in the history of the world.
Yes, it is. In the history of mankind. He's Tom. I'm Greg. It's your Saturday morning Stateline show, and joining us live from an undisclosed location, the one, the only Jeremy Ramsey. Good morning, Mr. Jeremy. How are you?
Morning. Well, you get me up awful early on a Saturday morning, so I don't know if you want to get too much of an answer for that question.
Brother, you were in the military. You know what early's all about.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of ironic. When I was in the Army, we would get up at 4 a.m, no doubt about it. Now my life with kids and my own law practice and things like that, I'm usually going to bed, I think, at 4 a.m, not getting up at 4 a.m.
Wow.
Well, I appreciate you joining us this morning. We're going to get to why you are joining us here in just a little bit. But as we always do at the front of the show, we got a bunch of shout outs and stuff to give and things to recognize. So we're going to start off with some of this stuff, including my life as a realtor. Okay. life in real estate. I was talking with someone this week, and I'm still adjusting my mindset from having been in broadcasting for, the better part of 30 years and of doing a morning show, doing a show every day, working quote unquote 9 to 5, which was really either 4 to 1 or 2, or for a long time I was working 1 in the afternoon till about 10 or 11 at night. When I was doing the afternoon show on QFL, that was a very typical thing, was getting to work between noon and 2, noon and 1, doing the afternoon show from 3 to 7, and production on bookends of my show. So I was, a lot of working hours, never really punching a clock because we were all salaried people, go figure. But this whole real estate mindset where I'm always working, but I'm not always not working. I'm on call, but I'm not on call. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What happened yesterday was one of those interesting days. Had a wonderful closing. Congratulations to the Nakata family on their new Rockford home. They moved here from Wisconsin, and that's right. People are moving from Wisconsin to Illinois sometimes, and so they got their new home. This older couple it was just wonderful to work with them and help them achieve their dream, basically, of having this home in Rockford. So wonderful to do that. But we had the closing at 8 a.m. first one of the day for the title company. And I usually try to avoid that, but that's the way it worked out. And when I got to the house for the final walkthrough before the closing, the guy still had some stuff to move out of the house. He wasn't completely moved out, and that you're really supposed to be all done before closing. But the circumstances were as they were. And the other agent, the agent for the seller, was someone that I knew from our office. So that was good. And everything was good. Everyone's getting along. Everyone's great. I actually drove the seller to closing. That doesn't happen. Anyway, all part of the story of making things happen. Had a great conversation with this guy on the way to the title company. We realized we had some mutual acquaintances and had a really good conversation and such. But again, congratulations to the Nakata family. And then had a showing down in Oregon, Illinois. I've sold the houses in Oregon, Illinois before, and I had a showing down there yesterday afternoon and wrote an awesome offer to hopefully get that house. And was supposed to had tickets to comedy night at Francesco's last night. Everything was honky-dory. This was going to be a funny night, seeing some Chicago area comedians. And on the way, something in the road was bigger than we could straddle with the car, and it hit one of our back tires and flattened it.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're parked along, we found a safe place to park off the street, called the insurance company. Long story short, it took longer than normal to get a tow truck out there. So we completely missed the show. But here's one of the things, again, I realize this every day, but it was just a shining example of my awesome date night with my wife turned into a night of getting reminded how awesome my wife is to go on any kind of date night with, because we hung out in our car and we watched a show on Amazon Prime on my phone and waiting around and just enjoyed each other's company regardless of the crappy situation. So kudos. Love you, Christy. I'm so glad I'm married to you because you're awesome.
She is a pretty awesome gal.
She's an awesome gal. So
let her make me more cake.
Don't worry. That's a coming.
All right.
So team sold on Tony. Keller Williams Realty. Great week of real estate action this week. And congratulations to the Nakata family. Working with a couple of cool investors right now. And was down in Oregon. We're going to be at the Indoor Sports Center this weekend for the big home show. The Rockford Home Shows this weekend. If you've never been, even if you're not a homeowner, there's a lot of cool things at the home show. All different kinds of services to check out. So it's worth the admission. I forget what the admission price is to get in, a few bucks. Parking is free, costs a few bucks to get in, but it's a good time. You see a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are ready to get out and see other people. If you're not, that's fine. I understand. Don't go. But a lot of people are, as evidenced by Thursday night's in-crowd turnout. Mm-hmm. In-crowd networking on Thursday this week was great. So kudos to Paul Lundeen for putting on a great event there at Maximum Performance, the workout place, the backside of a Chesney Park Mall. We were throwing axes. They've got an axe throwing area at Maximum Performance. They also have one of those indoor driving range things, which is really cool. You drive a golf ball into a screen and it tells you how far it would have went if the screen wasn't there. And it's kind of a cool thing that you can play. I think he said there's like 40 different courses you can choose from if you want to play a round of 9 or 18 holes on the indoor golf simulator. So that's there at Maximum Performance. And they also have a smash room. I've never done a smash room. I've seen smash rooms, and they've got windows into this smash room so you can see when people are smashing stuff. Have either one of you guys ever done a smash room?
No, I'm curious.
Have you seen one?
I've seen one, yeah.
Okay.
No.
So, they take donations. If you got something that you just like, for example, let's say you've got an old computer printer from like the 90s that just ain't working anymore. Donate it to them. They'll put it in the smash room and someone will beat the tar out of it with a baseball bat.
Dude, I've got one from 2021 that isn't working anymore. They're obsolete in about 4 months. And I'd like to smash it.
Yeah, except my question is, okay, I can donate something like that, but if I'm not using it and want to donate it, how come I don't get to be the one that gets to smash it?
You can go out in your backyard and smash it.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
You can do that. You can do that. So they got this smash room if you are interested, and it looks like a lot of fun. There was nobody there smashing on Thursday night, but they have these like jumpsuits and like firefighter type helmets with the face guards. So you are completely protected when you're in the smash room. And well, it's obviously you could do something stupid with a baseball bat if you're not careful. So you sign a waiver, which Jeremy knows about, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But they've got a great business over there. Maximum Performance, and in crowd Thursday night was a whole lot of fun. We also have a big number of the week this week. I better get into that before I forget.
Yes, big number.
I got into this stuff right away. Big number of the week this week is 120 million. Yeah, 120 million. And the answer this week is going to be VoIP or virtual reality. V or V. VoIP or virtual reality. We'll tell you the answer by the end of the show. I still don't have a graphic for the big number of the week, but I'll be working on that. At some point, we'll have to have a nice big graphic and throw it up there and be like, hey, it's time for the big number of the week. Dun, 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 dun. But I'm still working on that. Last couple of shout outs for today. Wanted to say kudos to the ARC.
There's your graphic for the big number. You can't see it. It's a 3. It's a big number.
It's a big.
Well, it's kind of an E.
It fills the page.
Now it's a 3. I don't know if it's backwards or not, but anyway, there's your big number.
I was, what's funny is I was downloading. Oh. Wait a minute. How about this? Why isn't it coming up? Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. Hold on. It's right here. This is going to be fun. Maybe.
I'm confused.
Load it up and show it. There's your big number of the week.
Wow. You put a minus in front of it and it's my bank account.
Oh, there we go. All right. I forgot that I downloaded that this week. The ARC of Winnebago County, they had their Chocoholic Frolic this week. In fact, it was yesterday, or no, it was Thursday, the 24th. They did not have their in-person event. They did it as a drive-through event this year. So people that ordered their boxes got different kind of boxes of stuff. And we got one, and it was awesome. Wonderful assortment of chocolates from so many different local businesses. Kudos to Amy Newell. She's the executive director at the ARC. And her team, Becca and Linda, Pat, Amber, Logan, Pam, Chris, all putting on this awesome events here. That was a drive-through. And let's see. I could name, there's so many businesses. Chaotic Bakery, Nothing Bundt Cakes, Halo Cupcake, Sugar Britches, Sugar Jones, the Dairy House, Cookies by Design. Bunch of great local businesses that contributed stuff for the Chocoholic Frolic. If you don't know about the ARC's mission, they serve individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, advocacy and supports, and they do a lot of wonderful things here since the 1960s, I think, is when they established this group, and they do a lot of wonderful work here locally. So kudos to the ARC for another successful Chocoholic Frolic. And the last thing I want to touch on for shout outs is this graphic right here, which is very confusing, isn't it? This is affordability in perspective. Gary Keller from Keller Williams Realty, he gave his vision speech. This last week was they call it family reunion when they have their big convention for Keller Williams Realty. And you'll notice the bottom line of yellow numbers. There's only one that's a negative number. And that's a good thing. Well, in perspective, that means that's a good thing. The cost of a car in 1989, that first column on the left, in 1989, the average cost was about $15,000. In 2021, it was $46,000, but adjusted for inflation, it should be about $35,000 now. So the real change from 1989 was 30%, that 30.2
Wow.
number. You can see gas price in 1989 was about 97 cents a gallon on average. Last year was $3.51. It should be about $2.25 when you calculate average inflation. That's up 56% from where it should be. Ouch. But the affordability of getting a mortgage is actually less now than it should be had it been adjusted for most inflation. So the average mortgage in 1989 was $825. Last year was $1,455, but adjusted for inflation, it should be about $1,915. So it's 24% less now when adjusted for inflation to buy a house. Mortgages are cheap. It's cheap to borrow money still, even if interest rates go up, 1, 2, 3, or 4% more this year, which it's not. It might go up 1, I think, but probably not much more than that. The cost of getting a mortgage, it's a good deal. It's still a good deal to buy a house. Yes, self-serving buyers you're talking about mortgages and why you should buy a house. Go figure. But Gary Keller's speech on this was basically saying, hey guys, when you're doing your buyer's consultations and stuff, probably this slide should be in every consultation you give, just to remind people they're making a good decision with their money. Buy a house and let that equity grow for you. So that's all my shout outs for this week. I went a little longer than I thought I would. Jeremy, you got an interesting history. What is your career? You were in the military for how long?
Just one tour essentially. So I was a judge advocate in the Army. And I wish I could tell you, I tell people that I know the striking resemblance to Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men, judge advocate. Of course, they see me and they say, wow, just like that, right?
You can't handle the truth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wish I could say it was that exciting in the Army. It wasn't. The one thing I did the most actually when I was a judge advocate in the Army was I did estate planning. Nothing exciting, nothing too detailed or intricate, but it was sitting down with soldiers who were going to deploy, and they would say, well, I need to make sure that I have beneficiaries put on my accounts, my life insurance, things like that. I need at least a basic will and powers of attorney. So we do those things for them. And then, that transitioned into my civilian practice, where that's one of the primary things I focus on is estate planning, estate administration. So I don't just draft things and say, to my clients, there's the door. I actually serve as a trustee, as an executor. I also help executors, trustees to make sure the estate is administered properly. And then, of course, with that comes real estate law. And then I set up corporations for people. And to have fun, I get involved in a lot of First Amendment cases, religious freedoms, defending constitutional rights. I try to get into that as much as possible.
So you are the lead guy at the Ramsey Law Firm Limited, attorney here in the Stateline area. I also didn't know this about you until I looked at your Facebook business page. You were an adjunct professor at Indiana Wesleyan University and at Cardinal Stritch.
So I've been in, college professor at several different universities. Colleges and universities don't have a lot of necessarily full-time staff. I mean, your bigger universities, of course, do, but a lot of the smaller ones, they just offer contracts, have adjunct professors at a lot of different universities, obviously teaching law, government. I did that for many, many years, and I enjoy it. I think I've kind of replaced more of that now with just doing I do a lot of presentation speaking engagements for different ministries and organizations that I'm involved with.
Cool. Well, one of the main reasons we wanted to have you on today is the fact that you do a lot of speaking about First Amendment and Second Amendment rights. And I'm curious to hear when you talk to groups, whether it's community groups or church groups, what kind of questions people ask you? What's kind of the main focus of conversation of topics that people want to hear about from you?
Sure. The big thing I like to hit on is, well, I'll sum it up, and this is incredibly relevant, especially in the past 2 years. I mean, I've been trying to beat the drum on this for a long time, but it's really come into focus the past 2 years. Is we don't get our rights from government. We get our rights from God. And our Constitution, our Declaration, our Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the amendments, they were written in such a way to prevent government from taking our rights, our God-given rights. Not somehow things have gotten reversed, things have gotten flipped, where it seems our government is using the Constitution, is using the Bill of Rights to put us down. I'm a big proponent of saying to people, look, this is just, I'm going to back this up with laws. We are not intended to be a democracy in the United States. We're actually, under Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution, we are intended to be a republic. It's important to know what that means. Republic means that, yes, we the people have the rights that are given to us by God, and politicians, government officials, are public servants. So they are to do the will of the people, as in we are their bosses. Somehow that has been forgotten for a long time. So I'm out there trying to tell people, look, here's our rights under the First Amendment. Here's our rights under of course, the Constitution. And just inform people, because I have tons of quotes from founding fathers. I have pretty much a whole library of quotes from founding fathers. And I try to show people that, again, our founding fathers were on the stance of our God-given rights, what we should be, how we the people should be in control of what is done in our country, and that government officials, politicians, do what we want them to do and tell them to do, and that's how we have a republic under Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution.
I'm sure Tom's going to have a question, but I've got one quick question for you here. When do people, what happens, how do you break the law when it comes to the First Amendment? What point have you gone too far?
Well, here's one of the phrases that I absolutely hate hearing. It's just like, for me, nails on a chalkboard when it comes from someone who doesn't understand what they're saying. The phrase separation of church and state, when people go, oh, you can't say those things because separation of church and state. And I'll say to them, okay, one, where does that come from? Oh, it's in the Constitution. No, it's not. Well, it's in the First Amendment. No, it's not. You can't say these things as a politician. You can't say these things as a school teacher. We've gone too far for a long time. Again, when you're prohibiting people from saying prayers in school, or you're telling people they can't, you tell a football coach you can't take a knee in the middle of the field to say a prayer before a game. Those are all violations of the First Amendment. When that person is told not to do that, that is the government violating that person's First Amendment rights. Again, we have a right to worship. We have a right to have prayer. It's unfortunately in I would say, early 1960s, the Supreme Court writing laws from the bench, which they are not allowed to do under the Constitution, but have been sadly doing it for a long time. They pushed a lot of our religious freedoms out of the public eye. And it's unfortunate because all of that is in violation of our First Amendment rights.
Cool. It's the dumbing down of America. I mean, it's there are so many things about, we don't have 12 hours to just sit here and talk about this. But I think it's kind of funny. I've heard this said before many times. It is in the Constitution, in the Russian Constitution. That ought to tell you something right there.
Right.
Thomas Jefferson, I believe, is the one who said we need to. He said this in the Connecticut state legislature, and I'm going to butcher it, so I'm only going to paraphrase something to the effect of we need to separate the church from the state or something like that. Has nothing to do with our Constitution. Absolutely nothing. But here's the point I want to make. You keep telling yourself the same lie. You keep hearing that same lie back at you. You keep repeating the same thing. The media, the liberal media, keeps saying the same thing over and over and over again. And after 10, 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years, it then a truth, at least a perception of a truth. And this is the problem we're struggling with. It's the slow erosion that the slow erosion, all of a sudden, boom, it hits. And now it's a quick erosion. And that is, I think, what's happened over the last, it started probably in the 60s, I guess. We lost our innocence when Kennedy was assassinated, and it's just mushroomed from there. And now the liberal press, and I know there are a lot of good people in the press, a lot of good people, a lot of good Democrats who report the news honestly and fairly. They may be on the wrong side, but that's beside the point. If they're doing their job and simply reporting the news, I'm good with it. But I think there's too many that are just kind of pushing it off to the side. You said I can't remember what word you used. It's something like they forget. I don't think they forget. I think they deliberately push it aside. I mean, I agree with you 100%, but I think it's a little deeper than that at times. They deliberately push it aside. I watch Jen Psaki, and I feel bad for her. She's got to defend everything Joe Biden says and does. How can she get up there and consciously defend him?
Right.
He's a liar. We don't even need to get into all of that. So
sure. I
I
went to a school board meeting late last year trying to advise a school board, as I did. I went to several meetings trying to advise the school board members that our governor does not write laws. These mandates that he was throwing around, and I was happy to see that the Supreme Court yesterday of Illinois denied his appeal on the mask policy in the schools. So it was shocking. I was trying to tell the school board, you don't have to follow what the governor's doing. It's illegal. He's going way beyond his powers. And shockingly, another attorney came up after me and stood at the same podium and told the same school board, governors do write laws. It's perfectly proper for a governor to write a law. And I was stunned. I actually had like an outburst. I actually went, oh my gosh, something like that, like out loud. And then, was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. But I was literally stunned that another person in my profession would stand up there after elementary school. I'd stop right there, but she, not only elementary school, she went to elementary school, I assume high school, I assume college, law school, and didn't get the basic concept that a governor or a president cannot write laws. I was stunned. And I thought, that's what's wrong with our country. That's what's wrong with, I always forget his name. The first Supreme Court Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Jay. Yep. Yeah. He said that every member of our country should diligently study the founding documents, just regularly, should diligently study them and teach them to the future generations so that they could know when their rights are being taken from them and know how to defend them. And it's not happening. It's not happening in the public schools. It's not happening in the colleges. It's not happening in law schools. And it's
make no mistake, that is on purpose. That is on purpose. That's to keep us under the thumb, and basically to dumb us down at every step, so they can then come in and be our savior, quote unquote, savior in quotes. Right. I said quote unquote, and then I went like this, and then I said in quotes. So from the Department of Redundancy Department. But anyway. Right.
Like we were talking about before. Yes, I taught in colleges for almost 15 years. Am I teaching in colleges now? No. You want to know why? Because I have the audacity in the liberally saturated collegiate world to be that, voice in the wilderness, the conservative Christian voice, to say, look, I'm going to back everything up I say with the actual law. If I'm going to say something's my opinion, I'll say this is my opinion, but I would back things up with the law. And it was not a popular viewpoint to have a conservative Christian viewpoint. And these were Christian colleges that I was teaching at.
Floors me is how many Christian colleges have bowed to this whole liberal agenda. It's sad.
How dare you speak the truth? Come on, man. What are you thinking?
Yeah, what am I thinking? Shame on me.
We could go on a long time about this.
Here's another really good example. You take somebody like,
well, I want to make sure we touch on the Second Amendment rights too, real quick, because it's already 8:30. We want to get to Joanne here in a couple minutes.
I just wanted to say Sarah Palin is a perfect example. If she were a Democrat, she'd be queen. She'd have been president by now. If she were a Democrat, with all of the things, just the beauty of her as a person, she would have. And this is, oh, okay. I'm done with that. I got to settle down. More coffee.
Have to have me on for more sessions of your show here.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and we probably should have you back on to just specifically because I talk about like Second Amendment rights. If they've been under fire for a long time, and now what we're seeing happen in countries like Australia and Canada, and of course this week in the Ukraine, citizens who are armed are citizens who can defend their country and their family, not just their families in their own homes, but their country.
Right. Yeah, it's been proven actually years ago. This was probably 5-10 years ago. The University of Chicago, ultra liberal university, of course, actually did a study, and I guarantee they were a little disappointed in the outcome of it and surprised they reported the truth on it. But they looked at like gun violence in schools and statistics, and the shocking, I'm sure to them, conclusion came was the only thing that really stops a bad guy with guns is a good guy with guns. And that was what the University of Chicago came up with as a result of a academic study. There's a reason why, again, I'll go back to the First Amendment rights, our God-given rights, natural law. There's a reason why you have the First Amendment, and then you have right after it the Second Amendment. Because if you're going to keep those God-given rights from a overbearing government, you better be able to defend them. And that's why the Second Amendment is so important. I've got, again, quotes from founding fathers. One of my favorite quotes is from Thomas Jefferson, where he talks about that, he's talking about sports. So he's saying, well, we've had this leisure time, these sports. And he says, what the most important sport is that you should have is carrying a gun. He said, in my daily walks, I carry a gun. And this is Thomas Jefferson, that the ACLU, the Anti-Christian Legal Union, that they say, oh, that's our champion, that's our guy. Man, they better read his quotes better. He was a very firm, God-fearing, gun-toting American. And yeah, they put him on all their websites and everything as their champion for their liberal ideas.
Yeah, it's the great equalizer. That's the situation where, hey, if grandma is being accosted by a guy who's 200 plus pounds and muscle bound, if she's got a gun, she's on equal footing. So
she just changed the status quo. My buddy has a very good answer to why should we have AR-15s. I don't know that much about guns. I don't know. I don't own any. I am absolutely pro Second Amendment, obviously. He says the reason you need an AR-15 is because that guy coming through your door at midnight to rob you has an AR-15. You don't bring a knife to a gunfight. It's that simple.
Right. And again, Thomas Jefferson quote, one of the most fundamental reasons that we have the Second Amendment is at last cause is to defend ourselves from our government. That's a Thomas Jefferson quote.
Yeah. Well, that's how we were founded. Had we not had guns, we couldn't have fought the dastardly English, the Brits. We couldn't have done it. We wouldn't have become a country.
Yep.
Well, Jeremy, if people have questions for you or maybe are feeling like their rights are being violated when it comes to the First Amendment or Second Amendment, how do they contact you and ask you for advice and help?
Sure. Easiest way, give me a call. My number is 815-988-4364. Website is theramseylawfirm.com. Email me at attymramsey@yahoo.com. Any one of those three, and you'll get to me pretty quickly.
Awesome. Well, I totally appreciate you spending time with us today, and I'm sure we're going to have you back at some point to talk more about these awesome rights that we have. As long as we have them, we should be talking about them.
Exactly.
So, Jeremy,
thank you for having me.
Have a great weekend, buddy.
You too. Thank you.
All right, that's Jeremy Ramsey with the Ramsey Law Firm Limited, right here in the Stateline area. I believe his office is in Lowe's Park, but
he could be on every week. That'd be cool.
Right. Hi, Joanne.
Awesome.
Good morning.
Good morning, Joanne.
She was there. Now she's there. Now she's there. You look crisp and clear and clean. Look at that.
Saturday morning radio show.
Look at that purple sweatshirt you got on.
Yeah, every day is Saturday.
I was gonna say, does that say every day is Saturday? It's close. It's almost Saturday. It's Saturday. Awesome. How are you doing?
I think I'm doing fine.
Good.
I don't know if you read my pause thing. I had a fall on the ice. So
yeah, did you bruise your hip or something?
No, I landed on my head, which I know you can't understand. I went and landed on my back and my head.
Oh, so obviously you're doing okay now. No concussion.
No, and I have my daughter. We're having a lot of response from the audience today, but I have to get close to read the things. It's interesting. So I had my daughter call me every hour because I live alone. So, but she called every hour until she said, "Mom, I'm going to bed. So if you die, I won't be calling you."
Oh no.
But I didn't pass out or anything, so I think it wasn't a concussion.
Good. I'm glad you're okay, and don't fall on the ice anymore. That ice was terrible this week.
Well, they say to walk like a duck or a penguin.
Well, it's actually better for me wearing my boot. I'm actually walking more upright, and I'm very, very careful, and I'm still walking gingerly, but I'm in less danger of falling now than I would be.
I think it was the ice and then the snow on top of it kind of hit the ice.
That was awful. I got out to my car on Thursday night. I was up in Beloit at the G5 after trivia, and it was a sheet of ice, and then there was a little bit of snow over it. It's just crazy. So I let my car warm up for 20 minutes.
So you could slide into your car.
Well, I'm glad you're okay, and you're over there at Pause HQ, and we'll take a little quick tour in a minute. But
and I think I figured out. I practiced at home, and I figured out how to turn the camera around. So we'll test it out today.
Sweet, little practice. Little practice is a good thing. All right, we change up the background. SMS info. Let's see if I can do it. There we go. Here's our SMS info page. How about that? We'll go with this. We have some info. Oh, by the way, this weekend, so much going on in the Rockford area. Rockford Ice Hogs have a couple of games. If you haven't seen the Ice Hogs yet, they're playing the Texas Stars tonight at 6 and tomorrow at 4. A couple chances to catch the Ice Hogs down at the BMO. The 62nd annual Antiques Show is happening at the Forest Hills Lodge today and tomorrow. That is 10 to 5 today, 11 to 3 tomorrow. They ask for a $6 donation at the door to get in at the 62nd annual Antiques Show, Midwest's finest antique dealers, all together under one roof. And 19th and 20th century antiques. Visit, check out GoRockford.com for more details on all of that. But that's again Forest Hills Lodge today and tomorrow. And then the 41st annual Big Rockford Home Show is at the Murphy Health Sports Score 2 Indoor Sports Center on East Riverside Boulevard over by the interstate. Today from 10 to 7 and tomorrow from 11 to 5. Price is $6. Kids under 12 get in for free. Shop for new products and services for interior and exterior home design. Talk to the experts. Lots of cool stuff to check out. And then the kids and the whole family will enjoy Ben's Bubble Magic. He's on stage today and tomorrow. And then Who Haven has their wildlife as well. Balloon twisting lessons and a whole bunch more. All free parking. But adults $6 at the door. Big Rockford home show at the Mercy Health Sports Core 2, the indoor sports center in Loves Park. So that's going on. Congratulations to the West Rock Wake Park in Rockford. They won the Wake Park of the Year from the Water Sports Industry Association. The 16th annual Summit in the Snow was this week. The WSIA has been around for over 30 years. They're the main advocate for towed water sports. And congratulations to Daniel Jarrett and the whole team at the West Rock Wake Park. They are awesome. I have not done the Wake Park thing yet. I've driven by it a couple times and checked it out just to, watch, but I might get brave enough to try it before too long. Maybe this is the summer. Maybe. As we were talking with Jeremy about First Amendment, Second Amendment rights and stuff like that, I was going to bring up this too and forgot. Did you know about half the U.S. states now have ditched mask mandates here over the last month? And even the CDC has changed their positions now. If you're in an area with high viral transmission, then they recommend wearing masks. Indoor public places, whether or not you're vaccinated, if you're in an area that is known to be of high viral transmission, then they recommend masks. Otherwise, no, don't. You don't have to.
It's an election year.
Right. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Lots of Super Bowl fans were unmasked at the sold-out stadium. Coachella and Stagecoach music festivals, they say they will not have COVID-related restrictions when the festivals open and return in April. They've already announced it. You're not going to need your vaccine passports, no masks, none of that stuff. So yay to Coachella and Stagecoach for that. All right. And now we got to get this screen up right here because I want to see your reactions when I share our randoms for the week. Maybe someday I'll come up with a random sounder. All right. Randoms for the week. Did you know there's now about 32,000 jobs for travel nurses? Travel nurses, the need for travel nurses is up from about 8,000 2 years ago to now 32,000.
Go on a trip with, like, Greg and his family are going to Hawaii, and I can go with them as a nurse?
Nope. This is when you go to work as a nurse in a hospital, wherever they call you to go to work. One of the gals,
I wanted to travel with someone.
I know, right? I'm watching. I'm living vicariously through. Oh gosh, Bethany. Her name is Bethany. She went to school with my kids at Christian Life, and she became a nurse. And now she's been a travel nurse. I think she's been a travel nurse. She does a lot of different things, but she's been into Hawaii. She's been to New Mexico. She's been, the East Coast states. She mostly is based out of Texas, out of Houston, I think now, but it's really cool to see her do all these different travel nurse things. And here's an interesting stat. Average weekly pay for a travel nurse is over $3,000.
Wow.
In just 6 months, a lot of travel nurses earn the entire median pay that a non-travel nurse makes in an entire year. So might be something to think about if you are someone who can and likes to travel.
It's about 70 grand.
Right. If you work all year.
Thereabouts.
And a lot of them don't. A lot of them work 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time and then take 2, 3, 4 weeks off and then do another 2, 3, 4 weeks, somewhere else. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
A study that looked at more than 1 million people over the age of 55 in Austria, Denmark, and Australia found that people born from October to December tended to outlive people born in the spring by an average of about 3 to 6 months only, but still, apparently people born in the fall, living your infancy through the winter months. Actually, in Australia, that would be the summer months. So that's interesting. Has nothing to do with the seasons then. I don't know.
Yeah.
Austria, Denmark, and Australia did this study of more than 1 million people. Found people lived longer if they were born.
It could simply be something healthier lifestyle. Maybe
don't
they
know.
eat more berries and twigs down there. Who knows?
Very strange. I talked about my terrible experience last night with a flat tire. The average driver goes 9 days with the warning light on in their car before taking their vehicle
My
in.
warning light came on this morning.
Oh,
I'm about 8 months over that now.
we used to have a car where the warning light was always on.
engine. It was air pressure.
Ah, okay. I had a Honda that the light would come on, you know, if the gas cap did something goofy or whatever. And after a while, you just kind of ignored it because it's like, that's nothing. The car's running fine. But there was no warning light last night. It was just a piece of junk in the road. Darn it.
Wow.
Anyway. All right. And the last thing I want to throw out today, this is not our big number of the week, but it could have been Lake Superior. Have either one of you ever been up to Lake Superior?
Yes.
No.
Pretty beautiful place.
It's the I don't know, it's kind of the neatest lake with driving around it.
Well, here's the thing. Lake Superior technically is not a lake. It's an inland sea. Lake Superior, all the other 4 Great Lakes would fit inside Lake Superior.
Wow.
Plus 3 more the size of Lake Erie.
Wow.
It's craziness.
There's an
So
island.
But
There's
it's a freshwater sea.
It's freshwater. It's a freshwater sea. There's an island in Lake Superior that has several smaller lakes on the island.
Wow.
Yes, there's a lake on a lake, on a lake, on a lake, a lake.
Wow.
Despite its size, Lake Superior is actually fairly young. They estimate about 10,000 years old. There's enough water in Lake Superior
Lake
to submerge all of North and South America in a foot of water.
So now you can sing the Edmund Fitzgerald song.
It's
That's
down
right.
there.
What a great song.
Yeah, enough water in Lake Superior to totally submerge all of North and South America in a foot of water. There's 3 quadrillion gallons of water, all 5 of the Great Lakes.
It's beautiful up there, though. It's just, I mean, that's a beautiful area.
It's yes. I wanted to go up there. I've been up there just a short amount of time, but I want to go and do the kayak thing among the I forget what they call that place. There's a place you can kayak with a lot of neat rock formations and stuff.
Yeah.
Atlas Islands. Someone can correct me in the chat. Inside the Lake Superior is 10% of the world's fresh surface water. They estimate at least 100 million lake trout live in Lake Superior, about a fifth.
So is Lake Superior also I can't talk. Also deeper than the other lakes?
Oh yeah, by far. All 5 of the Great Lakes combined contain 6 quadrillion gallons. Over half of that is in Lake Superior.
Wow.
I saw this week and I almost made it the big number of the week, but then there was all these other facts I wanted to share and I thought that was cool. So go visit Lake Superior. It looks like an awesome place to check out, doesn't it? Yeah, go check it out. Check the chat real quick, see if anyone's.
No, we're still talking about the Second Amendment.
Yep. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Brawl. Thank you for joining us on the stream. And what's really cool, guys, we're getting quotes. We're getting comments from both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Love this Restream deal. I love it.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking Restream as well. When I log on in the morning, it's just right there. I don't have to worry about punching in passcodes or anything like that.
It's a wonderful thing. Awesome. Okay, so there you go. That's all the stuff I wanted to share this
I can't read. I had to be far enough away so I don't look so big, but I can't read the chat then.
Well, sorry about
Dan's
that.
just talking about the right to bear arms, to stand against a tyrannical government.
I can read it because I get close and then go far away again.
Yeah.
All right, Joanne. Well, do you want to take us around the?
Yeah. Now let's see if I can remember how to do it, and I will do it. Maybe.
So while you're flipping the camera, we can go to this graphic right here.
Maybe not.
Right there, there's the pause graphic. And when Joanne can flip her camera around, the little flip around camera thing that's there.
It is different in this though. Camera. I did it at home and now I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Default.
Oh, you did send us a pause pet of the
there,
week.
facing back. Yeah, that should do it, right? Are you seeing anything?
There you go. Yeah. Hey, you got it. All right. So let's go ahead and put you on the big screen.
Okay, this is the cat of the week. He's coming out. His name is Ducky because he was found in the ductwork at a house he was left behind by the owners.
Oh my goodness. In the ductwork? That's horrible.
But he was trapped and he looked, he came out right away as soon as I came up. So, he's getting a little more friendly. Also, supper or breakfast has been served. I'm so proud I was able to turn this around.
You did it.
Okay, here's two bonded pairs. Zara is the Torby. Let's see what I wanted, because I know how Tom, and Bella is the black, and this cat is just so regal looking. That's Bella, and then this is the Torby, who's been whining the whole day I've been here. So for an hour, she's been crying.
Oh.
This was not exciting, just eating breakfast. Top of the tree. I don't know if you can see, our rooms are just wonderful. They have their special room. He's rooming up there. Ray. I feel so accomplished. I got my camera turned around.
You did it.
That's still there. I don't know if you can hear her. She's been just crying.
I can.
I don't know what the problem is. She's trying to get her First Amendment rights.
Keep speaking, cat. Keep speaking.
Yeah. A couple of younger kittens. These are kind of hiding. I'm being adopted. Choose my friends. We're getting good adoption records with our cats. I'm moving too fast and making you dizzy. We keep record here. Look at this for February, the number of cats adopted. Can you see that?
Yeah, look at that.
So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
All kinds of success.
31 cats adopted. January, there were 32. So we're right on. I guess it's the same. I thought it looked good. And we only had 4 dogs so far. So, but of course, we have a lot less dogs than cats. So this is Kira. And Hamilton was adopted. I don't know if you remember Hamilton.
Your second or third Hamilton.
No, Hamilton was one we had for quite a while.
Nice. Good deal.
So,
well, as always, pause. If you have any questions, give them a call, 815-299-PAUSE or 815-299-7297. Their awesome website, pausehs.org, with links to...
So I did it. I'm so proud of myself.
Good job, Joanne. Good job. Let's do our big number of the week. Woohoo! Our big number of the week this week is 120 million. Yeah, that's a big number, isn't it? And this week's answer is VoIP or virtual reality. VoIP or virtual reality. 5-2 is our... Oh, man, I got to shut this off. It's not going to work without this.
I'm losing.
virtual background. Let's just turn it off. 5-2 is our current seat. See how Tom won the last race to 10, and Tom's got a big lead now, 5-2 in our current race to 10. So there we go. All right. So give me your answer, Voight or virtual reality, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Voight.
Virtual reality.
Oh my goodness, one of you's getting a point. So Francis Ford Coppola, you know who that is, right?
Yep.
Yes.
The director.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Didn't he direct?
He's the 82-year-old director of The Godfather.
Oh.
One of the best movies ever made. Godfather 2, maybe even the better movie ever made, right? One of the few sequels that was actually better than the original, perhaps. We'll discuss later. He is going to spend $120 million of his own fortune to produce a movie no Hollywood studio wants to fund. The movie's called Megalopolis. And the film's cast is rumored to include Zendaya, Kate Blanchett, Oscar Isaac, Forrest Whitaker, and John Voight. 120 is the big number of the week. Tom, you got another point. You're up 6-2.
Wow.
I was honestly thinking it was Voight, like the basketball, the volleyball Voight
Brand.
I figured you were going to say something like they are up $120 million. Wow.
John Voight might be in this movie, Megalopolis, and Francis Ford Coppola basically footing the bill to get it done. No, the virtual reality is a big deal because virtual reality headsets have sold nearly 8 million since 2020. In the last 2 years, less than 2 years, 8 million virtual reality headsets have been sold. We're all going to have one soon, guys. We're all going to be having them. Tom's like,
kind of like COVID, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still have yet to do it. I'm just, I don't know.
You got to try it. You got to maybe one of these days.
Videos of people doing it, and it's hilarious. But I've never had the opportunity. So
I know some people find it to be very.
What is that movies where it like comes out at you?
3D.
3D, yeah, those are kind of like that because it feels like sometimes something will come out and you duck.
It's a better version of 3D. That's a good way.
When we were in Hershey, Pennsylvania, years ago, probably 12, 14 years ago, well, 17 years ago, just after my accident, we went to the Hershey Park, like the auditorium, and it was 3D. But the seats would rumble. There would be a mist coming up, and then there would be something under the seats that would sneak up and touch you and go back. It was so cool.
Yeah, like the one they used to have at Six Flags, at Great America.
Combined.
They had one like that at Great America too, that you were just totally immersed in. It was so fun. The seats and everything else. But anyway, check that out. VR headsets are selling like crazy. So we'll have to have you over, Tom and Joanne, and try out Noah's. He's got one that's really cool. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's show. Remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone today. We'll try to do the same and meet you back here next week for another Saturday morning Stateline show. That's it for February. Next week it's March. Awesome.
March,
everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.